Good afternoon, Spartan families. Just wanted to reach out to you so that we can go over our Pleasant High School restart plan. So just a little bit of information that this plan that we're going to go over today will be on our district website, so you'll be able to access it and look over it in greater detail at another time. So as we look through our plan, we have plan A, B, and C. Plan A is going to be where our students are in our building each and every day. Plan B will be where we will be in a hybrid model where students will be divided up and will come every other day. And then Plan C, where we will be in our remote learning, where it will be very similar to what we had at the end of the school year last year. Our online learning option, which will be option 2, will be something that Mrs. Adams will discuss in greater detail as we move forward. So I have here some highlights of what our plan is going to be. Again, you will be able to read through this when you look at our plan, but I'm going to go down and scroll into what it will look like in our hallways, classrooms, and those kind of things. Some of the things that you will hear will be kind of repeated a lot, whether they're in the student version or the family version, teacher version, or whatnot. So there are a lot of things that are repeated in here, but we wanted to make sure that we're covering all of our bases. So in our hallways, when we are in option 1, which means students will be here every single day, some of the things that we are expecting from our parents is that they make sure that their students are healthy when they come to school for us each day. Don't send your student if they have a temperature above 100.4 and they're experiencing any of these symptoms. Make sure that your student has a mask because we will be asking them to wear their mask whenever they are not in the actual classroom setting. So whenever they are in the hallways or on the bus or whatever it might be, we're going to want them to wear their mask. Students who do show a temperature above 100.4 when they're here will be quarantined, and we will be asking parents to come pick them up immediately. So we want to make sure that families make sure that their final forms are up to date. Parents, we also ask that you send your student with a water bottle each day, as we will be only allowing our water fountains to be used to fill up water bottles, not for them to drink out of personally. Some of the expectations for our students whenever they are in our classes or hallways or common areas, again, would be to make sure that they're wearing their face mask when they're in the hallways, on the bus, and during transitions. They should wear them when they are in the classroom and cannot maintain good social distancing. Again, it is not a requirement, but it is a recommendation. We want our students, while they are also in the classroom, to try to maintain as much physical distancing as they possibly can. And then when they enter our building, they need to report immediately to their classrooms. Do not congregate in the hallways. Students will be assigned a locker, but to start out our school year, we're going to ask that they not visit their locker or be at their locker unless absolutely necessary. And again, as we talked about for the parents, we want the kids to make sure that they have a water bottle with them so that they can fill it up if they need, but we do not want them to be drinking out of the water fountain. When students are in the hallway, we're going to expect them to travel on the right side of the hallway so that they are not crossing and interweaving amongst one another. And each time or after each class, when the students leave, we're going to ask them that they clean their desk and chair when they leave. Part of this is to make sure that when they leave, they clean off whatever germs they had, and the next person who comes in is able to be at a clean desk. For parents, just also let you know some of the things that we are going to be asking our staff to do. Our staff will be taking their daily temperature checks and filling out a form to let us know that they're healthy to be here. They will be wearing a face mask and shield when they cannot maintain that social distancing with our students. So when they're working one-on-one or in close proximity to our students, we're going to expect them to have their mask on. They are going to be supervising hallways during those times where students are going to be in the hallways, to make sure that students are moving and getting to where they need to be on time and in a manner to where we're not creating it or gathering together. Um, and so the teachers will also be making sure and assigning a device specific to each student. So students will have a one-to-one device so that we do not have to worry about them using a device that somebody else had. So those are some things that our staff are going to be doing, and our custodians as well will be doing those daily cleanings throughout the school day, as well as in the evening, especially on those areas such as door handles, handrails, and things like that, to make sure that they are all clean. Um, when we move into the transportation part of what our day is going to look like for our kids, we will be again requiring students to wear their mask when they are on the bus. We will not be allowing visitors into our building. Our building is going to be closed to only essential personnel. And if you need to come to school and drop something off, our secretaries will meet you at the front door and be able to take whatever you have. Or if you're, need to sign out your student, we'll be here to assist you in that. We will not be having any face-to-face open houses this year. So open house this year will be more of a virtual type setting. So more information will be coming soon when it comes to that. No field trips or conferences or assemblies. And if we have special education meetings, they will be in the form of a Zoom meeting. So when we look at our students arriving to school, in an effort to reduce the congregation of students before our school day begins, we're going to be asking that parents do not drop their student off at our school before 7:15 a.m. Our doors will open at 7:20, so we want to make sure that we're not gathering before school a whole lot. Those students who do drive to school, we're going to ask that they remain in their vehicle until the doors open at 7:20. And then those students who are riding the bus will get off their buses when the doors open at a staggered start, so we're not having everyone enter the building at one time. And again, when we talk about buses, bus passes will not be granted for this year. We're going to expect students to maintain the designated pickup and drop-off area that you as parents set from the beginning of the school year. Students, when they're on the bus, we are going to, again, be asking them to wear their masks. If they have a family member that's also riding the bus, we're going to ask them to sit in the same seat with that family member. And also when they're on the bus, to try to maintain as much physical distance as we can. So if they can create a seat between them and another seat, then that's what we want them to try to do. Our custodians and bus drivers, again, will be cleaning and disinfecting the buses after each trip that they take, to ensure that the bus is clean for our students. Our custodians will be ensuring that our doors are open and propped open for students as they come in, so we don't have multiple students grabbing our doors. And again, even inside our classroom doors will be open at all times. So students don't have to worry about opening and closing doors. They'll be able to walk right in without having to touch a bunch of different surfaces. When we look at our office and health services, basically for our parents, we just want them to know that we want to ensure that there are multiple prearranged methods of getting a student home from school should they become ill or have symptoms. So again, make sure that your final forms are up to date, so that when we need to get a hold of someone, we can get a hold of someone immediately. And we ask that you don't send your kid to school, again, if they are experiencing the temperature above 100.4 and they are having the symptoms that are associated with COVID-19. We're asking students is that when they come to school, they use those designated entrances and exits. They are following the protocols that we have as far as physical distancing and wearing their face masks. When it comes to seeing our nurse will do everything possible to ensure that the workspace is clean and sanitized. Students who are showing symptoms will be isolated until someone can come pick them up. And again, our clinic door handles or doors will be open to ensure that there's maximum airflow, and also to cut down on the number of surfaces that students could be touching. Um, as we move into the food and cafeteria area, I just want parents to understand that we will not be allowing lunch visitors during lunchtime. Now, again, this typically isn't an issue for high school students. It's more of an elementary and middle school issue where parents want to come eat with their students, but we will not be providing the opportunity or permitting people to come in during that time. If you do have lunch you need to drop off to your student, you can drop that off. Someone will meet you at the front door and be able to get it to your student. Um, our students will eat in the cafeteria. We will be trying to maintain as much distance as we possibly can. And if we do happen to have a time or a lunch period where our lunches are too big to be able to accommodate that, we do have other designated areas in the gym that we will be able to allow students to eat. The rules for our students while they're in the lunchroom, again, are to make sure that they come and they are seated and they remain seated until permission is given for them to get up and get in the lunch line. And then they will be maintaining that social or physical distancing while they're in the lunch line. And they also need to make sure that they remain seated until the bell rings to release them, or they ask permission to possibly use the restroom. So as far as for our custodians, again, they will be cleaning these areas, as well as, we'll have students wipe down tables and things like that as they normally would do. Our cafeteria workers will be wearing masks and shields, cleaning and disinfecting between lunches, and be available to serve foods for our students. When we look at Plan B, which is the hybrid model, which is where for parents, we'll have the students divided into two groups. We ask that parents have a plan for childcare for those days where students aren't going to be at school. So most likely, whenever we create these groups, they will be done by last name. So for the most part, families who or students who are all in the same family will go to school on the same days. That way, we know that if an older sibling needs to be there with a younger sibling, they're going to school on the same day, so that we can help in that situation, especially when it comes to daycare. We're asking that during this time when students are home, that parents, you are monitoring their work and making sure that they're completing the things that they need to do, checking PowerSchool regularly, as well as making sure that your student is staying engaged in their learning. For our students, when they are on this hybrid model, we need them to understand that the traditional grading will take place during that online learning. Those times when you are at home, it will be traditional, just as it was last year. We want our students to try to follow as much as possible a regular school schedule and communicate with our teachers if they're having questions or concerns. Our teachers will be providing work or lessons, things that they can do online during that time while they're at home, while they'll also be providing instruction for our students that are here at this time. So our teachers will be kind of doing double duty during that time. Since each student will be provided their own device, we ask that they take good care of that device. We want it to be able to last them and be in working order so that they can be successful throughout the school year. Our teachers during this time will be creating lessons that are engaging for our students, and allowing them to have opportunities to collaborate and master concepts. We will be using Canvas as a platform for our students, so they will know each day that where they need to log into, where they can find their work, and what they need to do. So Canvas is what we will be doing with that, and we will be showing our students how they're going to be able to use Canvas. When we look at option C, or sorry, not option C, but plan C, which is our remote learning, again, very similar to what we did last year, but our staff has learned a lot over that time and has kind of refined what they're going to be doing. Again, parents, we're just going to be asking that you stay on top of your students and make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing, that they're taking good care of their device, and that they are engaged in their learning during the times that they're supposed to be learning. Um, for our students, again, that traditional grading is going to be in place. We will be trying to create a schedule for the day for our students so that they know when they're supposed to be in which class, so that they can follow it and remain consistent in that. Because I think that for some of our students, not having that consistent schedule last year did become an issue, and we want to make sure that our students feel comfortable with that. And we're asking them to, again, communicate with their teachers when they have questions, issues, problems, and make sure that they're engaged in discussions and completing all work in a timely manner, in the manner that our teachers set forth for that. And again, our teachers, when we look at that, again, are going to be providing all of their work through Canvas, so that our students can know each and every day where they need to go to find their work. And they will be working with students and families to assist them in navigating this online platform and their tools. And so, when we are in remote learning and Plan C, we really just want to impress upon our families that making sure our students stay engaged during this time is of the utmost importance. As we go through this school year, we could be in Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C throughout the school year at various times. So our students and our staff and our parents are going to have to be flexible in adaptable and being able to move from one plan to the next as we go forward and adapt to this situation that we're in. So again, we really appreciate all of our parents' hard work during this time, all of our teachers and all of our administrators. This is basically what we have as far as a Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Parents, if you have any questions or concerns, please email me or any of the other principals in the district, as we are starting a question and answer document that we will post to the district website. It will be a live document, so as we get more questions, we'll be able to add them and answer, so that families will be able to look over this document to see if a question that they have is one that we have already answered. So again, we look forward to seeing all of our students soon, and we appreciate all of your support during this time and in the future. Again, if you have questions, please reach out. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Go Spartans.